So people say that, 99 out of 100 startups fail, but that is a myth. The fact is that 100 out of 100 startups fail.
You have 1 million plus subscribers on Instagram?
Yeah.
How did you get there? So 40 plus clients, 2 years. How many countries are you in? How did you turn your age into an asset? If you had an empty garage and you could fill it with 4 different cars, what would those cars be? So if you had to sum up your business experience in one word, what would that be?
I would say persistence. If you are left in the center of the ocean and you don't know swimming, you would do everything you have in your hand. Look at your business as your girlfriend. You are cheating with them if you have a plan B. I have a plan B. The plan B is to do the plan A again. If I dream I want to get that bungalow, that supercar, I can't have a balanced approach because that thing is not normal. If you are balancing, you'll get normal things in your life. But if you want something beyond that,
There's no life balance.
there's no work-life balance.
Today, we're thrilled to have Harshak Sinha on the show. At just 20 years old, Harshak has made significant strides as a content creator and entrepreneur, focusing on business, branding, and marketing. He is the founder and CEO of DigiTea and MarTech company, and has built a community of over 1.2 million followers on Instagram. Through his engaging videos, Harshak simplifies complex concepts in consumer psychology, making them accessible to a broad audience. His journey exemplifies a deep commitment to bringing visions to life and making a tangible impact on the business landscape.
Welcome to Business with Bartawi, where we dive into the journey of successful business leaders and entrepreneurs who've built successful companies. I'm your host, Mahmoud Bartawi, and I'm excited to bring you conversations with founders who've built successful companies and have made an impact. Today, we're joined by a very special guest, Mr. Harshak Sinha. Harshak has 1 million plus followers on Instagram and created a successful company across 2 countries. We're going to dive deep into the personal story of DigiTea, how it was built from the ground up, and where it plans to go in the future.
Thank you so much for inviting me here. I'm glad that you have brought this show together to solve a purpose which is obviously very important for the youth right now. So glad to be invited. Please.
Thank you for being here, Harshak.
It's my pleasure.
So tell us, how old are you?
I'm 21 right now.
21?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, and what was the motivation that led you to start DigiTea? Like, how did you start? Where did you start from?
So it's like I've been from a very humble and middle class background, and business was something which I always wanted to do from a very young age. And not just business in sense, like I was always curious around cameras and content and, a lot of things related to sales, marketing and stuff from a very young age. So yeah, that made me, figure out things. As I got matured, I came to know that, okay, this is the way you need to do. So yeah, that's how DigiTea started.
So when you say from a very young age, how old were you when you started?
I started when I was 19, but from the age of just 15, 16, I was very curious about creating content, meeting people, and like learning about marketing and branding. I was always like in and out in content specifically. So yeah, that was something which, over the period of time, I understood that how I can make a life out of it through content creation, to running a business, in the same thing. Yeah, so that's how things figured out. Like I was curious. I came to know that from a very young age, interested around camera and content. Soon as I grew up, like I came to know that, okay, I have to do something serious if I want to actually not just do it as a hobby, but as a business. So that's how things started.
Nice. So you had an interest from a younger age, and then at 19,
Yeah.
you started officially.
Correct.
And now at 21, you have 1 million plus subscribers on Instagram?
Yeah, I do.
How did you get there?
I would say a one-word answer would be that consistency, constant improvement in quality, and the overall whatever delivering. So there's a very unique perspective in which I look at my content. I look at my content as a businessman. So I look at every piece of content which I post out as a product, that I'm giving it to people. So that in that perspective, I make sure that it's perfect, delivering the right thing. So that approach obviously helped me. And then the third thing would be that being real. So like, don't act upon the camera. So just the way I'm talking to you, the way I'm talking to you off camera, and the way I'm creating content in Hindi in India is the same thing.
So be real.
Yeah, be real is the key to go there.
So your company, DigiTea, how many brands have you guys partnered with?
We have partnered with a lot of brands for consultancy, marketing and tech. Precisely 40 plus right now in the span of 2 years. And we have worked across multiple services with them.
Okay, and what was your first business venture?
My first business venture, I would say I started with freelancing personally. I was a social media manager. I was also a social media video editor. I did all that in the start because we run a bootstrap business, right? So soon to fund the same business, then we got into like my brother, my co-founders, Rupal and Mahi, all these guys came in, the core team, founding team and stuff. So like all these things happened later on, but it started with me being a freelancer, a freelance video editor, a freelance content writer, a freelance social media manager. So that's from where I explored the industry about how it works and what it needs. And then it went up. So that was, I would say, one of the first business ventures. But this is, if you talk about just the business venture, this is the first business venture which I'm working on right now, and it's scaling across multiple verticals. So this was the first, and this is it.
DigiTea.
Yeah, DigiTea itself.
So if you had to sum up your business experience in one word, what would that be?
My business experience in one word.
Yes. Your entrepreneurial journey.
I would say persistence.
Persistence.
Yeah, I admire persistence a lot. I've always admired it a lot because there are multiple factors which made me believe in persistence. My age, my achievements in such a small time, and of course, the way I look at it is having a mindset is all right, having all the things. I always say, I put it up in my bio as well, that I admire persistence a lot. It's because I say it on all my shows and interviews I go to, that I feel that rather than hard work, rather than all the talent you got in and all the time you put in and everything, if you don't have persistence, you just can't make it. So I feel persistence is the word I would say is a constant and is the word which I can probably get a tattoo on my body for.
Interesting. That's, it's a big keyword.
Yeah.
And how many years have you been running your business?
It's 2+ years and been in the industry since last 3 years, but like doing seriously since last 2 years.
Last 2 years.
Yeah.
So 40 plus clients, 2 years. How many countries are you in?
We have worked across Japan. We have worked in Canada, aggressively in India and UAE right now. So
India
like
and UAE.
in India, it's like we are doing well there. We have worked with a lot of brands, working with a lot of brands right now, and like UAE has been like my second home right now, continuously traveling. So yeah, of course, UAE is the second most like major target right now for us, and it's going pretty well.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
And how big is your team at DigiTea right now?
We are a team of 60, 70 plus people. And that's the team. That's the team size, basically across all verticals right now, 60, 70 plus.
And if you had to break that down, what would you say people fit into what kind of job descriptions?
I would say there are actually, as in, people always ask us why are we growing so fast, or like why are, probably if you look at all the work we have done in terms of quality and the production quality and the design and stuff and branding and consulting, all those things. We have invested a lot, and we have invested a lot in two things. First, that is creative directors and creative strategists. So like all these two, three people into designing, and all these people who understands creativity, we have put in a lot of effort there. A lot of, in business, what happens is all these people, why they are not able to give performance or even like at par do competitive analysis and stuff, it's because they lack the creative part. They have the production part, they have the execution part, that's designing and that's editing, but we are having the strategy part more towards it. So that's how it's divided. Strategy team, there's production team, there's like editing and stuff which comes under production, and we have business managers to handle the clients and stuff. Finance team is there, all these multiple across, and of course we are into tech as well. We are a MarTech company, so we provide custom software developments, we have business automation services. So all these things we have a separate tech team for, so that's how it's divided right now. And in marketing there are multiple services. We are into paid marketing, we are into SEO, we are into this review marketing and stuff. So we have a huge team that way.
Wow. So when you step away from work, what's your favorite thing to do to unwind?
I would say driving.
Driving?
So I love driving, yeah, of course. So I'm too much into cars. Too much, I would say. I don't know a lot about cars, but I love cars. So that's something which I use, when I'm having probably a hard day and things are not going good, or it's like probably things are going great, I would always choose driving over anything. I just tell my driver to go home, and then I take the car out, and from the office I drive here and there, probably with my founders, co-founders and stuff, and with the team, with friends and everyone. So like the thing is that I don't have a circle beyond my co-founders and friends and the team members. So it's like those guys are my best friend, those guys are my family. So yeah, it's a amazing culture there. So driving is the way to unwind. Spending time with them, speaking about everything is the way to unwind. So that's what I.
Look, just to understand you better,
Hmm.
if you had an empty garage and you could fill it with 4 different cars, what would those cars be?
I would put a G wagon there, X7. I would put Porsche Boxster, and yeah, these three are major. But I would say X7, G wagon, Porsche Boxster, and probably
Every
a
day
Range
you-
Rover.
A Range Rover?
Yeah, of course.
Is that the one you'd use for every day?
No, I don't. I have a Mercedes E-Class right now. I love that car, by the way. It's like I just got it a couple of months back.
Mabruk. Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
No, you're buying your own cars. You're 21 years old. I think the future is very bright for you.
Definitely, it's like touch wood. It's like I'm working hard for that.
You launched your entrepreneurial journey at just 19.
Yeah.
In a world where experience is often valued greatly, how did you turn your age into an asset? What mindset shift helped you avoid skepticism and focus on positively growing?
So this is a question which is always asked to me, that people in this field need a lot of experience and stuff. I absolutely agree with it. But it's all about, at the end of the day, what matters is performance. What matters is what you bring on the table. Because people value what you have, not what you have done or what you are going to do. They value what you are bringing to them on the
Right.
table right now. So it's like, in the starting, obviously, we started very small because I started with content creation first. So I knew that if I have to start the business in this field, there are multiple things which contributed to it. So it's not just me who made the business grow. It was people around me, the team around me, my co-founders and stuff. My younger brother himself is a co-founder in the business. So it's like all these people brought in so much credibility and so much experience in the business that we were all able to build it together and take it to the next level. But if I talk about how did it all start, so we started very small. All these people have very fixed business operations, very fixed rules. We need to have an office, we need to have that, X, Y, Z. But we were like, dude, just keep that aside. We don't need money to start business. Whatever we have, we need to start with it. So I borrowed some money from my mom, probably little money to just buy a mic.
How much money?
I would say, how much is 3,000 Indian rupees? Like 3,000 Indian rupees is anywhere around 100 dirhams or something like that.
So you buy a mic
150
with 100 dirhams?
Yeah, 150 dirhams. I got a mic, and I started creating video with the camera, with the Samsung phone I had. Then and there itself, I used to switch off all the fans and the ACs. Used to sweat a lot, started creating videos. Then met one of my co-founders in Delhi, that's Mahi. Then me and Mahi decided to come to Mumbai to actually do business. Me and Mahi decided to start the business. We went to Mumbai, and then we both were into content creation. So we were like, yeah, we know content, how it works. We know editing, we know designing, we know writing content. But it's like getting into that game. Like we were there on the creative part and stuff. Then we met Rupal in Mumbai. So she was already working with big advertising companies and already having an experience to work with a lot of brands. So everyone bought that equal importance to the business, and we started to, start the business together. So in the start, I started with content creation, of course, going back to the journey, that I started with content creation because I knew that if I'm selling a content creation service, I need to be my first customer. So that's the rule, right? It's like, that's why things have been, growing really fast, because I focus on the way that if I feel that I can make someone's social media or marketing or probably product positioning, branding or consulting, through consulting, make them grow, why not me first?
So you were the first customer of your own product?
Yeah, of course. Like I was editing it myself, I was doing all the stuff myself. But yeah, like I decided that if I have to sell these, being a freelancer is not just a credibility stamp to actually do that. So I started with creating my own content. Mine was also already a content creator. Varun was like fully into tech. We all three met Rupal in Mumbai. She was already working with a lot of brands. Then I had invested a lot of amount. Like I used to earn, how much? Like probably 600 dirhams a month. That was around 7,000-8,000 probably in Indian rupees. 600, 500, 600 dirhams a month I used to earn maximum. Not even 500, 600. I would say 400 dirhams a month I used to earn. And out of that, one day I decided to go and buy an iPhone on EMI to improve the content quality.
Equated monthly installments.
Yeah, in monthly installments, and out of those 300 dirhams, around 250 dirhams probably went into that EMI part. But I was damn sure about I was always like, I would say that my obsession with providing the right quality, making the content grow in terms of editing.
Obsession with quality.
Yeah, obsession. Like I wanted the video to be at par, and I wanted to do everything which I could. So people called me crazy that time, like. And plus, I don't belong from a very rich family or stuff. My dad was into normal jobs. We also had major setbacks while we were in Mumbai, so we had to shift back from Mumbai because we were not able to make a living there just because of all the hustle and stuff happening. But during that time, I would say that my parents had contributed a lot in like my own mindset. People see the exposure today I have is all because of the hardships I went through.
True.
But we all know that our parents, in general, maximum parents, always protect their child from getting exposed to that bad stuff. How cruel the world is, how difficult it is to even earn bread and butter and all that stuff. But my parents were very blunt with it. So they used to protect us, they used to keep us in shelter, but they used to say that don't go blind. Look at what's happening, how it's happening, and how we are probably earning a living, what kind of money comes into the bank, which parent tells you that?
So you wouldn't sugarcoat anything. They just say it.
Yeah, they just said it, like, even if it's a school fees going on, how it's going, from where dad is getting money for all that. So the exposure which I would have gotten, which I would have gotten at the age of 27, 28, 29, I got it at the age of 14, 15, 16, just because of the hardships I went through. So a normal parent would have done that, okay, don't tell the kids about that.
Right.
Let them focus on their studies, but my parents were, take the responsibility. Look at what's happening.
You said your brother, you have a team of co-founders and your brother is into tech. How old is your brother?
My brother is 16 years old.
Wow. And your co-founders, you said there was Mahi and Rupal.
Yeah.
Are they also of similar age?
Similar age. They are 21, 22, 23, that's all.
Okay.
So like we all are in the same age group itself. Yeah.
And the experiences of Rupal and Mahi, are they similar to yours or they had different experiences?
They have different experiences, of course. So I was more into creating creative stuff, probably consulting. I used to learn a lot, study a lot about marketing, how things are happening. So I'm a guy who is like in and around market. Why a brand would do that? I'm that why guy, that why a brand would do that, why a brand would put that advertisement. Curiosity. So that was my part which I played in. Mahi brought in a lot of things around YouTube and the creation stuff, the technicalities, and how a complete thing can come out. And Rupal was having great experience under how brands work, how they deal with in terms of commercials, in terms of professionalism, what kind of communication they need. So all those things contributed to each other. So we were like equal guys, equal kind of like contribution towards the business. So it obviously, and Varun is exceptional for us. So like. And today I would say that for all three of us, we also discussed that Varun is into tech. So he's now getting aggressively into AI. So like if you tell him to build anything out of nothing, he would do that. So he's a full stack developer. He has worked with big startups in India. He has worked with a lot of companies. He has got job offers worth lakhs and lakhs of dollars from US and Canada and all these countries. He has been a Django contributor. He has already he's into he was called in Europe for a speaker session to tell about something. He was called in US so everyone brings in their own expertise, like probably if I break it down, I was the guy who was with unique ideas, with creating great campaigns. I'm a hardcore guy in sales, by the way. So I was that sales guy. I know how to pitch, I know how to talk, how to cater to the problem and solve it and probably crack a deal. I was into that field basically. Mahi was more into, when I first met Mahi, it was not very specific that we wanted to start a business together, but it was like we met, vibed a bit, and it was like, yeah, right, man, we should do something together, And then me and Varun had a meeting with Mahi. Mahi came on boarded. We all three said each other to that, let's do serious business now. So we went to Mumbai to actually start things off. Little bit here and there, we were exploring things, and when we were finally setting up and finally ready to launch, we met Rupal in one of the events, and she was also going to start something of her own. So it was like we vibed it with her too, and things were why not join us? And she was also like, we were very well gelled in, all of us. So it was like, why not? Well, let's do it together.
So you have a set of 4 co-founders.
Yeah.
One is your younger brother.
Yeah.
One you said was more focused on YouTube.
Yeah.
And the other one worked for international brands.
A lot of international brands, yes.
The girl.
Yeah. We have equal, we have the same vision. We have the same passion towards work. I don't think so. None of us are like, I want to go to sleep, or I want the work-life balance, or I have a family. No, obviously we sleep, but a lot of people say that. It's like,
There's work-life balance out of the window.
no, but it's just like, the part is that we all were like with the same vision in it. So it was like why we all became 4 co-founders, that, in the starting of the business, it was not about like today we talk about and we think, that this could have been the reason that she has that experience, I had that experience, Varun had that, Mahi had that. But the thing is, why we all came together and we stick to each other through all the hardships is one reason. We all were focused towards a vision. We all came from humble middle class backgrounds. We all were like dreaming big. We all were having the same heat inside us to do stuff. And that's what it works out. Sometimes what happens is that a lot of co-founders break down, they set apart, not because of difference of opinions. We have tons of difference of opinions every single day. That's how business works, right? But the thing is, when you have a vision that everyone is imagining that, okay, I want to go from A to B to C to D to E, and that's how I want to grow, that vision was common. So because that vision was constant and common, that made things grow. That made actually, probably if anyone would have been just doing it for the sake of money or sake of anything else, we went to like crazy level of hardships and crazy level of finances and balance sheets and P&L, probably everyone would have left then and there itself. But because of that intention, that's how it worked out. So if I talk specifically about that, it's like we are a perfect balance. Everyone brings in the right set of, I would say this, and it's all about, how you balance it.
And have you guys ever been to a meeting where someone noticed your age and said you guys are too young?
What happens is that I'm glad that it's always a second guess. Because when we first meet, we talk and we do stuff, we come on to the dealing part, we come on the commercial part, we come on to the strategy part, the data part, everything. And all that's covered. And when they come to know our age is so less, that's when they get super excited to work with, and that's when they get super happy. Because if they would have probably guessed it before what we present, obviously they would be looking at it, probably biased way, these guys having experience. But that doesn't happen right now. It used to happen 2 years back, but today I don't think so. Anyone's
hard work and dedication,
It's like right now, it's like people are more curious about meeting us, right? It's like they want to work with us because of our age. But when we started, age was always a second guess. So that's what you were asking about, how we broke that age barrier. So it was through working really hard. It was through passion. It was through getting all in day and night.
You're saying in the end, the guy that wants to work from you, he doesn't care. He cares more about the work than about your age.
Of course. See, anyone in this world would care about work. If anyone's doing serious business, they won't be thinking so small with just the age factor.
Exactly.
They would obviously look at in a way that I don't know about his age. I don't know about the educational qualification or stuff. I just want to focus on the part that what he can bring in for me and what I'm paying. Is that making sense or not? Exactly. So that's how real business do. Like people always tell me, this is one of the things. And second thing which people tell me, that you have 1 million followers. That's why you get all the business. But the fact is, that doesn't get me business.
So it's not the followers that bring you the business.
It's never the followers which brings in business. When you do serious business with high-ticket clients, I don't deal in 20,000-30,000 rupees. That's around, let's say, 1,000, 2,000 dirhams. That's not a project for. We deal in huge numbers right now when we lock a client. So they don't give a shit about how many followers I have. Probably that followers can probably make the guy think about having a meeting with me, but that will not get me business. Probably if I'll call up somebody, they'll be like, okay, Harshak, come by. Why not? This guy might have something because he has 1 million plus followers on Instagram. He has such a big team. He has great co-founders who have great experiences. They might get me on the meeting, but the high-ticket clients don't give you money blindly just because you have 1 million followers. They won't say, 1 million followers, take the money and go build my Instagram. They won't ever do that. The strategy, what kind of performance we are expecting, what kind of production we are bringing in, what kind of expertise we are bringing in. That's how the serious people do business. So I've met big businessmen who are like probably 1000x in terms of wealth and stuff which I have, and they don't care about 1 million followers because they just don't. It's about what kind of business that we are dealing with business. But obviously, because I teach about business branding and marketing, there are people, there are big celebrities, there are big, I would say, businessmen, there are big people in India and across the globe who are following me for my content. But that helps me get meetings. That helps me connect with people. That gets me into events where I can meet great people. But
Then there's
to
a lot of-
convert it,
Yeah.
it's the team, talent, and all the experience we have which goes in. So
Great.
that's how the age factor I would talk about in general about.
So you faced zero balances in your business before. Can you share us a couple of examples of how you bounced back and maybe some advice for entrepreneurs who are going through something very similar?
The thing is that that's the beauty of running a bootstrap business. You go broke multiple times, and we did too. So it all started with, it's a B2B business. So we are young, B2B, long payment cycles, a work which we have started, no money in the bank because we haven't invested anything as such, like probably let's put this amount into the business and get the team, get the office and stuff. We were doing a lot of things by our own in the starting, of course, as every entrepreneur does. Like they have to handle multiple things in the business when they're starting the business as a bootstrap founder. So obviously, like what used to happen is that probably there's a fixed date. I say this always and I make fun of this fact that there's a fixed date for all the salaries on all the dues, but there's no
Right.
fixed date for the payment. That's how a business, B2B business works till now in India and everywhere, of course. But obviously, international markets are much more disciplined with that. But every agency owner will agree with the fact that Indian markets are still getting like a little fizzy towards the payment part, sometimes getting delayed or getting too spectacle about things, not aligning it, negotiating, all those things. So we were very new to that. But that made us go through hardships. We lost because of our inexperience in the starting. We had lost a couple of clients who didn't aligned with the timelines and stuff. We committed stuff and we made it happen, but there were people who captured business. There was all these games happening in and around. So obviously we have gone through multiple times.
How do you bounce back from that? Like now you're saying that you have payments and the payments are fixed. You're saying the salaries are fixed, but the payments are not fixed. So like how do you...
That was a challenge, I would say, when we started. But right now, as we are on a very big level right now, obviously that's not a problem.
But like how
But
does
of course,
someone bounce back from it? Like if I'm an
I'll
entrepreneur...
make you understand. So
Yeah.
the thing is that during that point of time, we always had the power to exit. Like probably we would have dropped projects, made the dues in partly payments and stuff, and did something else. We always got offers from here and there to work with, probably specifically with a single company as employees and stuff. We always had that.
To make ends meet.
Yeah, to make ends meet. We always had that thing, but the vision to grow DigiTea to a certain level, take it across countries and work globally was the reason which didn't made these small things and payments and stuff and not actually grab our attention towards it. That they didn't attracted it as much.
So you focused on the longer vision.
Yeah, we focused on the longer vision. That's point number one. Point number two is that I would say that I'm first talking about the mindset part towards during these points. So people say that 99 out of 100 startups fail, but that is a myth. The fact is that 100 out of 100 startups fail. It happens in a calculation that 100 startups fail, 90 of them decide to bounce back. Out of the 90, again the 90 fail, 40, 30, 40 again decided to bounce back. Okay, let's do it again.
Right.
Again they failed. That's when only 5, 6 people started to bounce back again. Again they all failed, and there was one which was standing till the end.
That's so interesting. So you're saying it's a bunch of failures. And
It's a bunch of
last man
failures,
standing
of
is-
course. So look at it as a stepping stone. Nobody's going to kill you. You're not doing illegal business, so nobody's going to kill you for that, for not paying on time, or probably you need to be very confident. You need to be very. So see, the thing was, we knew that we need to be very humble. We don't need to think about that. Oh my God, we have money, we have employees, we have such big checks coming in. So we didn't never allow that to get to our head. So we were super humble with our team. We were humble with our clients. We were humble with our approach, and we are humble as persons. So that made us, deal with a lot of hardships, and we were not alone in the hardship. The whole team got in and they were like, let's do this. No problem. If there's delays in salaries, if there's stuff going wrong, we are there for you. What can we do to make right? So I still remember one incident that what happened is that a client backed off because of some investment issues from their own front. Till now, there has been no client as such who has given a very bad feedback and has left. That has been I would say, touch wood, that has been our main thing till now. Everyone has left because of some of the other issues or probably XYZ reasons. But what happened is that time one client backed off, and that was our biggest client. And on the basis of that client, we had got our office spaces, we have got our team in, and it was like.
And how did that affect you?
And it was like we were sitting and we had all the finances intact, already like at break even itself, not even earning profit out of it. But we were like, and one day things happened that it was going worse. And one day I had to drive to their office. I went and things were like, we can't do it from today because we have this XYZ issues and stuff. And
They decided to just tell you that they can't.
Yeah, like they were a bit, they were not so cooperative, but they did decide to say one day that, okay, we are not doing it from today. And that day was like, shit, man, like, oh my God, like, and when we came down to office, and it was a small office space, probably 200 square feet or something, there was a big board there, and where we started writing all the dues which we have to clear in the next 7 days. Salaries, rent, credit cards, XYZ. And it came down to probably a certain level that, let's say, it's XYZ amount. Let's say, I would say it was around 25,000 dirhams that time. I would say 5-6 lakh rupees, Indian rupees.
A lot of money.
A lot of money. 20,000 dirhams, like we are not having any revenue as such. And that much amount of dues was like headache for us. And that came in front. This I'm talking in the first 3-4 months of our business. That came in and we were looking at the board and we saw the income section, it was zero. Not even a single penny. Then we opened the bank balance. It was hardly having 200 or 300 dirhams. So it was like such huge gap. Then we looked at the prospects. Like, okay, are we in talks with someone to get a deal in? Are we meeting people?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, there's always 3 things in which we make the finance sheets from, like dues, income streams, and expected income streams.
Right.
That's how you are able to evaluate and take steps in. I don't know a lot of people do that or not, but we used to do it that way. And we were like, on the income part and expected income part, it was all zero. And that was a red alert for us. We had around 200-300 dirhams in the bank account, and we said, let's go to a restaurant. And we decided to start the car, go to the restaurant, sat there, had a lunch of around 150-200 dirhams that day. We're like, what we do with that money? Let's have a good lunch. Probably that would make us happy. I still remember we were like, let that go. Let's go have a lunch. We had lunch. We came back in the office. Now we erased that balance part and we were at zero. Again, and it was like 0.51 rupees. That's not even a dirham, by the way.
Yeah.
And we were like sitting and thinking that, okay, now we are in the game. Now we feel that heat. So I don't know why from very start, whenever we had such situations, now we were like, oh man, now let the business go. This is the game. We're like, generally what happens is that people get very depressed. They're like, oh my God, I have to borrow money, this, that. And we are like, let's get to it, man. Let's like target, let's like pitch in, let's like make. So that day, the whole team, what we did was we were in a complex. We had on a floor, there were 50 offices, 10 floors, 500 offices. There were 500 offices. And we said, we have businesses all around. Let's do one thing. Let's create, I would beep if I say anything, but it's like, let's create personalized proposals for everyone.
Right, just put in the work.
Everyone. Not just go and tell, hey, we provide these services, are you interested for? No. They just fucking create the personalized proposals for every single one. It was like, oh my God, Harshak, how are we going to do that? So like me, Rupal, Mahi, we all were there, and like we went to the first floor, and these guys, one went to the middle floor and one went to the top floor,
So
and
each
it was
one
a Sunday.
scattered into a
It
floor.
was a Sunday.
Okay.
We created a Google sheet, 3 sections in the sheet, 3-4 sections in the sheet. Varun was there on laptop with the whole team, and we were like, create website proposals and social media proposals for every single one. And the proposals had competitive analysis, the breakdown of their current presence, the free audit report. So it was impossible to create that way in such a short time, but every single employee, every single one in the team, us as co-founders, the core team, founding team, everyone got, and from the first floor to the 10th floor, we covered all the businesses. had
customized proposals,
with customized
audit
proposals,
reports.
customized tailored approach that what they should do. We created over 80, 90 proposals. There were a lot of offices, but some were like, they don't need it or something like that. We shortlisted, created 80, 90 proposals, printed it, put it in a file, and we all went to each and every office to distribute that. That can we have a word with the founder? Can we have a word with the management executive? And that's how, out of 80 responses, 1 or 2 cracked, and we covered all that money.
Wow, that's an incredible
7
story.
days.
And achievement. That's a clear bounce
This is
back.
just a incident which I say, like these, there are many
Right.
which happened during the course of our first year of business. Many incidents. We had got into one of the biggest events. We were doing it in-house. We faced losses in that here and there. Then we were doing a lot of things and things were down. But last from 1 year, touch wood, it's going really well when we got into, that experience. We were not having business experience when we started. But when we got the experience, when we got the right team, people working in, expertise, network, content grew, got into more meetings and all that, things obviously turned towards the positive side. But I still remember I sold my car to run the to pay the dues in the business. A lot of people
Wait, so
sacrificed.
you got stuck and then you had to sell your car to
Yeah,
pay the business
again,
fees?
this is again story. One more story which happened after this incident. Like that time we covered, but again there were.
So you survived
things.
the first instant and then again you had
There
another.
were, I guess, 4-5 times when this happened. Any business which would go like 4-5 times to zero balances in the bank account and 6-7 lakh rupees, Indian rupees, that's 20,000-25,000 dirhams
when
in
you told-
dues.
Yeah, and when you
Anyone
told,
would go crazy about it. Like, man, how are we going to deal with this?
when you told your friends and family you were going to sell your car to pay the business, did they say you were crazy or?
No, like my parents were dead supportive about it. Like they were like always there for me. My mom and dad have always been that backbone who has like supported me as whatever you're doing, we're there for you. Because like if I tell about a little bit about my dad, he's very logical guy. So he's like, when I was hardcore into studies, he was like, you have to study, you have to crack a top B school, and then get into like jobs and stuff and grow over there. When I decided to business, decided to do business, it was completely opposite of what we had a word about with my dad. So he was like, show me how, if you can do it or not. So what I did was, before completing my 12th grade, I got 100K plus followers on my Instagram, got a couple of clients in, and I worked really hard for that. So my dad was the first person to tell me that quit all this and focus on your business. So he has always been my backbone. My mom has always supported me blindly from getting the first mic and stuff. And he was like, do whatever you love. That's how you're going to make a life out of it. So they both were having this one single approach that don't regret. And they also knew that I know the business well and I'm doing things. And that was my first self-fund car. My dad was there when I was buying it to
So you
advise me,
self-funded?
help me. And he was there even to sell it. So I still remember that day was actually very disheartening for me because I told you I love cars. And that car which I got was very personal to my heart. Actually, it's a story that it was a Honda CRV. So that CRV, I used to have one parked in my society when I was probably in my teenage. I
Parked
used to
in your
like
society?
that. Society in the sense like it's an apartment and multiple apartments are there and there's people living in it. So that's what we call a society.
All right.
So it was there parked in that and I was like, this is a nice car and stuff. So when I got that Honda CRV, when I got for me, I was really very happy. I earned it, went through all these. It helped me a lot. But, there was a time which started when I was not able to fuel it. So it was like I came from home to the office, but then I have new fuel in the car to go back home. It's like the car is parked and then I met with a small accident and then in the car and then I didn't have money to repair it.
Was
So the
everyone
bumper
okay in the
was,
accident?
yeah, everyone. Little bit of accidents here and there, small accidents. So like the bumper was just hanging and I didn't have money to repair it. I used to put all these stones and just the bumper to be like this and used to park it and leave it for 2-3 days because I just didn't have money
You
to
couldn't
repair.
afford to fix it.
I couldn't afford to fix it. After some time, it became more difficult with the repairs and maintenance and stuff. And one day I had to let go. And I still remember I was like, no problem, we'll get a new car. Just let it go, no problem. So what? It's my first car I have. But it's okay, let's let it go. Let's focus on business. We'll make it big. I'll get a bigger car and all those motivation. But I still remember I was sitting in my office with the whole team. And my mom called in and she told me that the guys have taken the keys and they've taken the car. They'll transfer you the money and stuff. And I was like, that was the first day when I cried. in front of the whole team. Like I cried like a baby that day, and I cried really hard. And that was the first time when the whole team cried together in the office.
They took away your baby.
Everyone cried in that office that day. That, oh my God, like we are so much into it. It was an emotional moment. I still get goosebumps when I say about it. Because when I started crying, nobody had ever seen me crying. And it was like, oh my God. So, yeah, but things have been going well now. But I guess, whenever you go to zero balances, you have to see, I would say that everyone who has been very successful have gone through like huge debts or probably crazy amount of hardships, probably a lot of struggles. But I seriously feel that when you're all in it, like there's no other way out, that you don't have a plan B, you have to be in it, make it happen. It will happen.
You have to make it happen.
You have to. We would have easily told that, oh my God, this is a 5-6 lakh rupees dues, that 25,000 dirhams in dues, and let's leave it all. Like, let's tell the employees to go and we'll pay them the salaries. And we already had maximum dues clear. Let's just go, let's get a job, immediately pay all the dues which we have, probably get some help from the families and just quit it. What the hell is happening,
That's
man?
a logical
We
thing
could
to
have
do.
done that. We could have done that the second time when I was selling my car, that what the hell are we doing in the business? Like, it's going crazy. We should just leave everything and just focus on something else. Man, this is not working. But we didn't. We decided to stick by it. So that persistence, that thing, if you are left in the center of the ocean and you don't know swimming, and the only way is to live or to die, you would do everything you have in your hand
You learn something.
to try to just float. That's how business works. That's how big businesses are built. When you try to stay afloat despite of all the hardships you go through. So that's my lesson which I've learned with all these stories and all the hardships, that no matter whatever happens, try to stay afloat. Be persistent.
So you're saying the hard times come, but it's about how you deal with those hard times.
Yes, of course. And what kind of mindset you have. People have plan B. I always say, I say this as a very fancy line, that look at your business as your girlfriend or your spouse. You are cheating with them if you have a plan B.
100%.
Like if you are thinking that, okay, if this is not working, I'll do that. This means you are already confident about this might not work.
Exactly.
But I didn't have the plan B. People used to ask me, "Hey, you're so young. All these family members used to call me. A lot of people used to, friends and family. So young you are. You have started your business. You should have a plan B in hand. If you will not have that, how will you make a life?" I told I have a plan B. The plan B is to do the plan A again. So that's how things had worked out. So if you're passionate that much, like dead sure about, I'll do this. We have pivoted multiple times in the business. We have made changes in our services. We have made changes in our approach, operations, probably changed the product, probably changed our offerings which we were having, but we didn't quit. We
So
were
never
there.
quit.
Never quit. That's my go-to rule.
So the next one's on work-life balance.
Yeah.
Balancing work is really tough for many entrepreneurs.
of course, I
You don't
agree.
have a fixed 9 to 5, and then it's, how much time how do you split that time between your business and your personal life? And what systems do you put in place to prevent you from, spending too much time with personal or with family or with business? What are those checks you have in place, and what is your advice for entrepreneurs that also run similar businesses?
See, I would say to get successful into anything, you have to make that your life. If you don't do that, you won't be able to do anything.
So there's no work-life balance.
I would say that there's no work-life balance in the sense that either you balance it or either you do it. That's the only two way. If you balance it, probably you'll get a balanced thing out of it. You won't get anything
So it's all
extravagant.
in or nothing.
If you have dreams, you can't have balanced approach. If I dream I want to get that bungalow, that supercar, and that kind of a lifestyle, roam around the world with my family, probably travel all in first class, business class, stay in 5-7 star hotels, I can't have a balanced approach because that thing is not normal. Balancing is normal, right? If you are balancing, you'll get normal things in your life.
Normal
If you're
results.
okay with normal, go with balanced approach. But if you want something beyond that, I don't want normal things. I want things to be very extravagant in my life. I want this and
Like
that.
if I want to be 21
you cannot
years
have.
old and have a company in different
Exactly,
countries and
exactly.
own a car, and
Exactly.
there's no life balance.
There's no work-life balance. I would say that I was great in health before this, when I started my business and content. Today I've deteriorated a lot, but I'm working on that. things have to be worked on. Certain things are very important. Your health is very important. Your family is very important. You need to give time, but giving time doesn't mean that you are there for them all the time, all the day long. You need to be there for them when they need you. You need to be there for them. You need to care about them. You need to call them, have a word with them. All these things needs to happen, but the family needs to be supportive of you as well, because you are probably doing whatever you're doing. I'm doing it for my family, right? I'm doing it all this for my mom and dad. I'm doing this for me.
That's
probably
so interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like the thing is that anything which you do in a balanced way will give you balanced results. But if you want something extravagant, you need to go into that hustle. So talking about specifically about work-life balance, my personal take is that if you try to balance work and life, things will never work out for you. Once you make the business, the thing which you are doing, your life, whether you're an employee too, let's say if you're working for a company,
Right.
in a corporate job, do you think that Sundar Pichai went to being the CEO of Google by balancing work and life? I don't think so. He became the CEO of Google because he had put in so much hard work, innovation into the business. There are two types of people, we always talk about, like, there are entrepreneurs and there are intrapreneurs. So entrepreneurs are the people who work in an enterprise and they find solutions inside it. So in our company, DigiTea, we have a lot of intrapreneurs as well. That is one of the reasons why we are growing really hard. So in our team, probably 10, 15 people are staying in the office for weeks. They are not going home. They are working day and night. And they are enjoying hell. They're enjoying as well because they love their work and they're like, let's make it happen. Let's grow, let's innovate and all that stuff. So that kind of a culture which we have created, those people are entrepreneurs. So if you want to be an entrepreneur or an entrepreneur, if tomorrow, like let's say probably today our company is valued or worth probably a couple of $1 million. If tomorrow it gets to $1 billion, who will enjoy it? The entrepreneurs in our company. With us, the entrepreneurs of our company, not the basic employees who are balancing work and life.
Right. So you're saying it takes tremendous effort to get to that big vision, that place that you want to go to.
Correct.
A lot of sacrifice needs to be made.
A lot of sacrifice. I've sacrificed in health. Obviously, don't sacrifice health, I would say. But things happen. Things go wrong here and there. How do you think when I was an 18-year-old, how do you think I was dreaming about buying a Mercedes? I was dreaming about having an office. I was dreaming about having a big team. I was dreaming about working with great people. I was dreaming about roaming around countries. How will I do that? A balanced approach? Studies, masters, graduation, and this and that. I have to do something which maximum of them are not doing. I don't have anyone in my whole classroom or in my batch who is doing what I'm doing.
I wish I had your mindset at 21.
So it was like, that's why I'm doing different. They're giving exams, they're writing assignments, and I'm like, probably a couple of my friends were calling me and I was like, I'm in a meeting right now in UAE, and they were like, oh my God, this guy is like traveling all the time. He has no time. And like, they are probably spending some time with the family, going to clubs, drinking and all that.
And doing business.
We have a similar approach. It's about what there's. I don't think so having a balanced approach is a wrong approach. It depends upon your personal desires.
What do you want?
A lot of people are like, they just don't want to have that supercar. They don't want to have a life in which they have to work day and night.
Which is also fine.
Which is also absolutely fine.
Average.
It's like, it's not just about average. I don't label anyone as average or like big or all that. I would say it's their personal call. It's their life. What's the ultimate goal? The ultimate goal is to be satisfied with your life. The ultimate goal, will never get satisfied. Anyone would never get satisfied. But the fact is, the ultimate goal is to be happy with what you have. The ultimate goal is to fulfill your inner desires.
Right.
So you have to take the course of actions according to your own inner desires. You don't have to go to the world standards. That would fuck yourself up. It's like, if I think about, I want to become the prime minister just because the prime minister has powers. If I look at that thing, I'll just fuck myself. Because it's like, I'll be working that way, and that would affect me so much in terms of my health and stuff, because I just don't want to be that. I'm just admiring it, glorifying it, but that way I will not fulfill my inner desires. So people see, a lot of friends look at me and they say, we want to do something like you, man. You're of same age, we were playing together, we were playing cricket, and today you are here, I'm in college. But it's like,
but they also want the work-life balance.
But they don't want the work-life balance. They say they want to do it, but they can't do it.
It's because they're focused on the work-life balance.
Because the origin is not from inside. The origin is from looking at someone. Whenever you do something, looking at someone, you can never make it happen. You have to do it. The origin of things should be inside from you.
You should want to do it.
You should want to do it, actually want to do it from inside. You cannot do anything like, if I look at you, you are such a successful entrepreneur, businessman, you have invested so much here and there, you have such a great background. I can't be you. You, though, have a very successful lifestyle, but I can't be you. Because what you did, you had an inner call for that. I have an inner call for something else.
Right.
So people look at people and they decide to do XYZ, but it's all those who have like made really big in their lives, they might have replicated a lot of business models. Of course, that's a lot of people do stuff, but the inner call was to do something.
So the inner call so what you're saying is the inner call needs to come from within. Even if you replicate a business model, it's fine, but
Correct.
It's the inner call that you need to have.
Correct. That's the inner call, and it's like your inner desire. It's like work-life balance and all these things. Whatsoever is important for you, whatsoever helps you to get your dream, get your dream stuff done, and whatsoever helps you in what you imagine you will be at. Do things accordingly. If you think that you want to have a big mansion in Palm Jumeirah with probably a couple of supercars, you cannot have a balanced life. I would bet that no one there had a balanced life.
Yeah.
Whether it be, doing like stuff in terms of, like even let's take an example of you. You have such a successful lifestyle now. You might not have had a balanced life. You had gone through a lot of struggle, hustles and stuff. That's why you are here today. So it's like anyone like doing what they want to do will not have a balanced life. It depends upon what's the definition of success for you. A lot of people say that the definition of success for me is having food 3 times and living with my family, playing with my kids, and just enjoying that. That's all. I don't need a big home. I don't need a big car.
Right.
Great. You need to focus on your education and just get a stable job. That gets you that. So it's like, it depends on my dreams were very crazy. I used to look at cars. I used to look at stuff. And more than that, I wanted to work in something which is towards creativity and all that. So I was not just driven by materialistic desires, but it was more towards, building something, working with a team.
Yeah.
I would say in one word, whenever I sleep, I just sleep with the intention to wake up. So that was the only intention to work with. And whenever I go to sleep, it should be like, I don't want to sleep, I want to work more, I want to get in that stuff. When will I get that stuff? So that's what I worked for.
So you speak a lot about your team.
Yeah.
And you obviously seem very, happy with your team.
Yeah.
I want you to share a little more experience as to how you grew a small team into such a big team,
Mm-hmm.
any hardships you had along the way, and how you dealt with those hardships.
See, people always say that hire talented people, hire people who have great experience in the field. I disagree with that. For my field specifically. When you talk about creativity doesn't come from experience. It comes from the taste, the way of looking at things. That's some or the other way that's inbuilt in a lot of people. I cannot make anyone's perspective towards looking at things change. People won't get creative over time. So that creativity part played a major role in the business. So first, while finding the founding team who will actually help us grow the business from scratch, we were more focused towards finding people who are first flexible to learn. Second, they had the basic sense of how colors combine, how shapes combine, how a frame should look like. And these were 2-3 things. The third thing was aligning to the vision, how hungry they are for success, how humble they are from background. So like in the founding team, we can't have people who have too much of experience because they will have like balanced working hours and all those stuffs. We can't have that approach. So first of all, whenever we had our founding team, core team, when we found that, we always looked at that factor, that we need to have people who are like creative, like dead sure about we have people in our team who say that there shouldn't be anything in the market that we will back off from. There are people like that in our team. Who says that working in a company?
Right.
I'm assigned for this, I'll do this.
Right.
No.
Everyone
Their approach is something else. Their approach is, if they come up with something in marketing, it's CGI which came in the market new. If it's that, if it's this and XYZ in creativity, nobody should question us in terms of production. That's the crazy kind of passion our team has. And that passion has helped us a lot to grow in a very small span of time.
And you're saying you can't teach passion?
Yes, you can't teach passion. Passion is something which comes from inside. You can't teach anyone to align with your vision. Your vision should align with their inner calling. So there were people in our founding team and stuff who are like, right now, their inner calling is aligned with us. They understand what kind of future we have. They relate with us. We are all in the same age group in the office. Maximum all of us are in the same age group. So what happens is that they're very focused towards the work. We are very transparent with our processes.
How do you scale that team? How do you add more and more members who align with your values?
See, I would say that cannot be scaled up after a certain level. So the people in our founding team and core team and some of the other guys, after that, we cannot scale it. We cannot take it to the next level that we have 100 of people doing that, 200 more people doing that. But the power is that when you have these people, you are not just alone with the same vision and with the same kind of passion. You have so many people, like let's say we are 15 people, let's say 15 people in the team who has similar passion, similar dedication towards work, similar that inner calling, similar approach towards I want to put the day and night in work. So that is what will build those 1500 more people who will come in. Because these guys will probably become us for someone else in the team.
Right.
So that's how it will get on replicated.
Yeah.
So probably I'm sitting here having a podcast with you. It's because there's a whole team who is working behind on the business. Probably I'm able to keep a lot of meetings, all as co-founders, work on new products, work on new services, work on planning the business strategy, because these people have the same passion to make things execute. These people are like, one of our client called us and they told us something went wrong with the files and something happened. And they called us and they were like, Harshak, I called you to, sorry sir, I came to know this happened. It just happened for the first time. We'll take care from the next time and all that. She was like, no, I didn't call for that. I called for the fact that your team, how have you built it? They are ready to take a bullet for everyone in the team. There's this one guy who's taking the bullet for the other guy, and there's this other guy who's taking the bullet for another guy.
Wow.
And they're like, not like, it's not my responsibility, that he was responsible. There's no such thing in the team.
What would you say is something negative that happened, and how did you deal with it with your team?
See, negative in the sense, like, what happens is that we have certain hard stops. So it's like, if there's someone in the core team and if there's someone in the founding team, they have to be a part of our hardships. They have to be part of our innovation. So we have that very well defined, that if you are in for it, you are in for the other stuff too. If you want that privilege to, probably have that fun, you need to be there when we are, facing a lot of problems too. So that negative in the sense, till date, there's not very specific negative events, I would say, that has happened. Obviously, there are misalignments, there are disagreements, there are feedback sessions which we do.
How do you deal with that? How do you deal with the disagreement between two members, for example?
It's like, first of all, we sit for a talk, we try to analyze why things are happening the way it's happening. And maximum time, it's not the fault of any one of us. It's the fault of the time, it's the fault of the nature of work, it's the fault of the nature of business and stuff. So we try to make that understand. Plus, these people are not, even if there's a lot of misalignment and stuff, it's always like we have an open conversation with it. We might go here and there, talk about it. We might fight a lot, but it's sometimes, sometimes things go over the board when you're working with a huge team, but it's approach. There's a certain approach to it. You come, you sit, talk, solve it immediately. It's whatever you are doing, it should not affect the work happening again. So it's sometimes people get demotivated or something like that when there's ups and downs. We always have a word with them. We always sit together, talk for a while, try to understand what's bothering, and we are in and out in their lives. So we know their families, we know people, we know what their dreams are. There are people who came in our place and they said us that, we had stopped dreaming. But now, while we are working with you guys, we are dreaming now. There are a lot of people who say that in the founding team. Maximum people are maximum people are we see where we are going.
Yeah.
Not because we have a vision board stuck there that we want to be $1 billion company. We don't have that. But the passion towards work, as founders, I would say that if any founder is watching the video stuff, as founders, it's very important for you to act as hardworking and as passionate about your business. That nature of yours will be replicated by the team.
So you're saying it's contagious.
It's
It will
contagious.
infect the people around
It's
you.
absolutely contagious. Because they see, it's like, it's not only people who get aspired by us, that you are 21 and all of you are very young and at the age group of that. It's all about how you replicate that. So it's like, it's not about just the people who get inspired by the fact that we are 21, all of us are in and around the same age group. It's the team also which gets inspired for the fact that if these guys can do it, we can also do it along, and we understand them. And maximum founders, the thing is that I've seen people treating their employees as laborers. Laborers not in the sense that you make them work a lot. It's about how you deal, how you talk, how concerned you are. So we treat our team as our babies. We treat them as our best friends. We treat them as our family members. If they're having any problem at home, that's where you get in a board meeting too.
So you have board meetings just because someone has a difficulty and they
Exactly.
need to deal with it.
Exactly.
You help them deal with it.
Exactly. So that's how things happen. If I have a problem at home, or someone else is having a family problem or a personal problem, there's board meetings for that too. So like we sit, we discuss, and that's how, when you care about them, they'll care about you.
So look, a lot of founders, maybe some watching this video, others out there, they have a problem moving from a six-figure. They find it a little bit difficult moving from 6 figures to 7-figure business.
Correct.
How did you do it? And what is that advice you have for other founders that will help them unlock that growth?
Correct. See, the thing is that the game is not just about moving from 6-figure to 7-figure to 8 figures or 9 figures in the future. The game is all about what kind of work you want to intake and how you can grow through it. It's like, people do get into the mass games, they onboard projects like crazy, they'll get clients as many as possible just to make it work out, more money to flow in. But it's like, they'll get someone, that guy will lose in after a month, and then they have to find a new one. So we took an approach of working very selectively with people who know content, who understand tech, who are having a vision behind doing it. So we just didn't want to provide services because, see, I'll tell you one approach which we had, which has helped us a lot. Though it's a small, slow process, though it might be demotivating sometimes to do that, though it might be not that attractive to do that, but we have written it on deck as well, the deck which we have for us. How we work. There's a section how we work. So I'll tell you a story, you'll get to know what I'm telling. That one day, one guy came to me with a 50 lakh rupees check. And 50, 60 lakh rupees.
How many dollars or dirhams is it?
300,000 dirhams in value checks. And they used to give us, and they used to tell us that just start putting it into the budget, marketing and all that stuff. And we're like, okay, no problem.
So this is a company who will come to you and say, here's a check, put it into marketing.
Yeah, put it into marketing. Like, you guys can do it and all that, looking at the deck and stuff. And we were like, 1 second, so the first approach we have, before understanding the budget or anything from the client, first we understand the motive. So there's an intent call which happens. Intent call in the sense, let's say I get a call, the first discussion would be, why do you want to put money into this? What's your main motive? Where do you want to go with that money? See, if I'm putting money into something, you have some expectations in mind, of course. But people, maximum service providers and businessmen who go to service providers, they just go with the money and say, just do that for me. And they just expect to take the risk and everything by themselves. But we are more concerned about solving the purpose. Because in Hindi, there's a term that you look at karma as your dharma. So karma as your dharma means you look at work as your religion, as you should have a spiritual connection with your work. That's how you'll make it actually happen. That's how you'll work towards it very passionately, work respectfully towards it. So don't abuse your work. So we never abused money. So that day when they came with the money, we always used to have an intent call first. Intent call in the sense that we need to understand why do you want to put this money in?
Like, what is that goal?
Why do you have this money? From where did, let's say, what's the plan you have in mind? What do you want to achieve? XYZ. Then they would say, okay, these are the XYZ sales we are trying to achieve. This is the money for that. People put it into marketing. We are also putting it into marketing. But we are like, wait, you want to go to XYZ. Then to go to XYZ, apart from budget, these are some checkpoints which we need to go through. We need to have a great product. We need to have great packaging. We need to have great positioning, marketing, great ads. Then only it will perform and get you to a certain target. And that was not even 5% or 10% of investment than what they were going to do in terms of, they were giving us a big check. But we told that we'll do that work later on, but we first need to work on this to actually make that thing work out. But they were like, what's the problem you guys are having, man? I'm giving you money which is getting you probably 10-20% commissions over it, and you can easily earn it by just running and managing the ads and stuff and everything. Why don't you want to take it?
Just take the money.
Just take the money. What's the problem? You are a service provider, focus on that. And we are like, no. We want to make sure that whatever you're putting money into, you should get results out of it. You should be aware of the fact that it can, why and how it will go wrong. Then want to take it. And we were very confident, damn confident that it will not work. Just because of the product.
So you didn't take the money because you thought the product.
The product
wouldn't
needs
get
a lot of working right now.
So the product
we had
wasn't
those
ready
things.
to put marketing on top of.
Yeah,
push.
like see, a lot of people, a lot of business fail because they don't have the right positioning of the product. So we felt that the positioning of the product was wrong. It needs branding, and so they told us, whatsoever you have warned us about it, it's our risk. You take the money, now what's the problem? And we denied it. So we transferred that project to someone else, and that company actually got shut down very recently.
So you have a very business take on things. You don't
Yeah,
take something without the
we
long-term
don't take
vision.
it. We don't take it. So like budget, we don't have a price card. If you ask us how much I charge for a reel, there's no price card for it. If we create producing a reel or doing stuff, we first try to understand the vision of why the person wants to do XYZ. According to the vision, probably you will come in with a budget of 3 lakh dirhams, and I'll tell you it can be done in 30,000 dirhams. Why do you want to spend 3 lakhs? I'll tell you, give you a different plan for 3 lakhs. So that's how we consult. So our approach is consulting first. No matter, we don't charge anything, like in the sense, like I would say, no matter whatever money you come in with, whatever your budget you come in with, we'll craft according to your vision only.
So you're saying unlocking a 6-figure to a 7-figure business is about understanding your buyer
Correct.
or your person.
Working for your buyer. Personally working for your buyer. So why there are people who are like our first clients until date, here till now, even when we went up and down, even when we did wrong things or things happen here and there because of any experiences in the startings, they are still aligning with us just because of this fact that we care about them. We genuinely care about all the people we work with. And because we care about these people genuinely, that genuine connection is automatically built between us. So it's not just client or a service provider relationship. It's about, we are in the same team. You have that vision, we'll work hard to achieve that vision towards that goal. So that approach towards the business, right? A lot of people, you go to them, they'll have a certain price card. They're like, okay, you want to do this? Go with this. But we are like, why do you want to do it? What do you want to achieve? Probably you have that budget. Probably that will not work out. You have to invest 2x of what you are thinking to achieve that. Probably you have to invest half of it to achieve that. So we craft accordingly. So that's why people love us and they connect us with a long period of time, stay with us. But this has gotten us, of course, we have lost a lot of projects because of this. But we were very genuine with our work. We don't run behind like money, clients.
It's because you're not running after the money that the money is running after you.
Yes, of course,
it's
because you do genuine work. These people are there for you all the time. If I'll be genuine with the person I'm working with, automatically that guy will also be genuine with me. So that is the approach which we have. Very straight approach. Work towards, don't abuse money. Don't just take money for the fact that it will earn you a certain profit. I can't take that thing. I always go very down when a client has negative feedback, ever. Like right now we are all in, we are going really great. But whenever there's a negative feedback or something, little bit here and there, we are super sad. We always have great meetings for it. Like we'll put the whole team and why did this happen? We need to do this. This is happening because of this and that. And clients know that very well. That's why, like, even when things go wrong, we won't be like, maximum people like, fuck it, let's go to someone else that get some more clients in. We are getting more money in. Probably they'll not care about that much. But we are like, no, man, we need to care about it. That's why we are selective with people. It's not like we are working with thousands of businesses. Because of the distribution I have, we can easily sell low tickets quickly, get clients and brands onboarded, but we have a very specific approach.
So speaking about distribution, you've got 1 million plus followers. What is your content playbook? How do you stay relevant? What is that? How do you keep it engaging?
So content is also having a story that, like I went to 100K followers in 1 year. Then I went 150K, I was there. That happened because I improved my quality. I told you I got an iPhone from an EMI and I started creating great videos. I put in a lot of efforts. I was researching about what works, what doesn't work while we were building the business. Then I went to 150K, creating self-growth and a couple of business story content.
You started with self-growth? You
Yeah,
got to
self-growth and a
150.
little bit of business content here and there, stories, basic stories, life incidents and all that. Went to 150K, went down to 120K for straight one whole year. So for straight 1 year, I didn't got even a single follower. It all went in minus from 150K to 122K. You know, you just imagine anyone would have quit content creation if for one whole year after achieving you are going down. And it was like a whole thing. But that happened because I was focusing more on the business part and we were building things from scratch, having these hardships. So I was not in my minds to execute the content. Then one fine day, while looking at the content, we were sitting with the whole team and we decided that let's quit content creation. And let's quit it and let's just start being ourselves on the page.
So it's a change of mindset.
It's a change of mindset. So first I was creating content like, hi guys, this is the thing, this is the story, which I was not. I'm the guy who speaks this way. I'm the guy who tells stories. Even if you'll ask anyone in my team, my friends and family, Harshak has stories all the time. He has a lot to talk about. He has, great way to put things in. He consoles a lot of people. So that was my skill. I was great into sales. I was great into marketing. I was great into all these things, but I was not doing that on social media. So I soon understood that when I started content creation, so I look at it as a pattern. This can be a great piece, by the way, that back 2 to 3 years back when content creation started, it was like very few content creators in the industry. Few of them were making videos. That time creating content worked. But after a certain point of time, when COVID was like at its peak and things happening, content creators flooded in the market. A lot of people started creating crazy content on social media. That's how just creating content saturated. After a time, then the second market, which is running right now, and it's going to grow as aggressive as possible, is that what unique you bring in. A style, the way you speak, or the way you present, the way you hook, all these things came into play.
So it's not about the content anymore, the information. It's
Yes.
about the way you present,
Yeah.
the way you...
It's about how you resonate with the audience. So I told you, I stopped creating content after that. I said to myself, I'll not speak in front of the camera. Keep the camera aside. I'll speak with you guys. The way I talk. We are in business, right? We are in branding and marketing all day. We are learning about case studies all day. How this brand did that, and XYZ. Let's do that. What's the problem? We always talk about how we need to be very passionate. We always talk about how we need to build a proper flow, how we need to be motivated. Let's go ahead with that. Let's do the same thing again. Kept the camera aside, started talking to the team. The camera recorded that piece of content, edited it, very simple, just subtitles, zoom in, zoom out a bit, put it up, started working out.
Wow.
One video worked out, all the money I had in my credit card, I max swipe it, got the camera, got the lenses, got the setup. Again, the same thing which I did when I was just earning a couple of money. I got a camera, iPhone on EMI.
Right.
This time I just went and I was like, fuck it, I want everything for the best quality. Got it, started creating content, boom.
So you moved away from a content mindset into just being yourself and
Yes.
delivery. and
Now the
then
content works towards authenticity more.
Authenticity.
How authentic you can be, how real you can be in front of the camera, and what kind of information you bring in, the way you present it.
And the 120 followers, where did that go to? And how
They're still here. It's like all these guys were probably, let's say if I was at 120K followers and I went from 120K followers to 1 million followers
Wow.
in a span of 5 to 6 months. It was like I was stuck for a whole year, and then there was a day when I got 1 lakh followers in a single day.
Just because you cracked it.
Just because we cracked it. Just because we cracked the format, we cracked that thing, and everyone just highlighted one. Just focus on what your audience is saying. They used to love my storytelling. So I was like, okay, they love storytelling, let's get into stories. I got a lot of business stories aligned, wrote these scripts. I still write my scripts myself. I have a team who researches it, crafts it, give their own opinions on hooks and stuff, but I'm the one to finalize, take the hook and add my spice to it. But in the start, I used to find my scripts on my own, find the topics, finalize it, hand-picked it. And because of creating 300 plus, 400 plus videos, and I was stuck at for a huge time, I got a superpower. That whenever I was writing a script, I knew it would get views.
You write, I saw in some of your content get 200,000 likes.
Yes, even 1 million likes I have.
1 million
on
likes.
on a couple of reels.
That's
So that happened because after a certain point of time, I cracked it. So it was like I started focusing on creating the content. started being real on the camera, listened to my audience that did love my stories and storytelling, hammered more on that. In a series of videos, 10 million, 20 million, 30 million, 40 million, 1 million. 1 million was my average views in between. And that, millions, having probably 150 million plus views over a span of 2 to 3 months, that's a huge number.
Wow.
So because of that, it boomed to 1 million plus followers. That's how, that's anyone who is creating content right now should focus on being real, being consistent, and not stopping because of engagement, low engagement and stuff. Pivoting is very important. Seeing what's working in the market is very important. So all these things, I've talked a lot about content here and there, but it's more about what you do in your life. I was doing self-growth, but I was not a motivational speaker, right? I was doing business and branding and marketing, doing all these businesses, talking about marketing and sales all day, doing the same thing. I did the same thing in front of the camera and it worked.
You were just being authentic yourself.
Yeah. Just don't do something apart from your ecosystem. If you're good with biology, start creating content in biology. If you're good with physics, do with that. If you're good with cars, start creating videos around cars. Do content which you're good with. Not just because you want to create content, you start creating content. That's my advice, I would say.
So you say you started from very humble beginnings.
Yeah.
From middle class family, and now you're the CEO of a big company. What are those lessons that you took with you from those humble beginnings that still apply today, and how have they shaped you?
So the first word is hidden in the question itself, that's being humble. So it's like, when I was from, of course, a middle class family and stuff and saw a lot of hardships, that humbleness was always there inside me. Money didn't got to my mind, that, oh my God, there's so much money and all that. Treated people really nicely, with full respect. Always wanted to do a lot more for other people in the team and always wanted to work together and all that stuff. So that attitude which got me, that, the thing is that a lot of people are very skeptical about, their stuff. That, okay, like how we should work, what kind of people we work with, and what kind of value they bring in, do they bring in money. And my intentions were more towards working with the right set of people, with the right intentions, with the right values, with the right passion. So all these things got aligned. And from that, those hardships, obviously when mom and dad, they were always very transparent about the struggles of the family, and they always gave me the call. They probably take my call or not, but they always used to tell me, Harshak, you tell us what we should do. So it's like paying the rent or surviving, and they're asking a 16-year-old kid about what he thinks he should do. That shaped me a lot. And I used to actually think, Dad, we can do it this way. Can we manage it this way? Let's decrease this. Let's increase that. Can we go this way? Can we do that, this and everything? That contribution towards all that got me exposure. That got me the thing that you shouldn't just be very, very loose and very unstructured with your approach. Always have logic behind it. Always have a vision. Always have a passion. So all these things obviously made me believe in being the right guy. So those things build my character actually. So that character which I carried of being humble, being honest, being loyal to my product, my co-founders, being loyal to my team, and always it's not, whenever there were hardships, why the team supported us. The reason was, first, they were connected with us. Second, they knew that these guys, if they'll have money, we'll be the first ones to get it. They'll not keep it to themselves. So they knew that because they've seen us struggling. They've seen, sometimes I've got calls. You won't believe this. I've got calls from employees calling me and telling, Harshak, do you have money right now? You have just transferred the salary right now. Yeah, you got the salary. Then they were like, do you want us to transfer it back? If you need it anytime, we'll it's fine. Who says that? You tell me who says that. If I transfer you money as an employee, why will someone call me and tell me that if you want it, just keep it, we'll manage it for a while? Because they were family, because they knew that these guys are honest with their approach. They are not fooling us. They are working really hard.
So listen, with DigiTea's success, what special projects do you have on the horizon? And where do you see the future of marketing and branding going?
So we are very aggressive right now in terms of getting the right clients onboarded, working with very selective people, working on big projects which create good IPs around, great shows, great content, educational content around, do great production. So we are in that. that thing is going. We are working across multiple industries, whether it be healthcare, whether it be personal branding, whether it be like educational fields and all that. We are working in all those fields right now. We are working across branding, marketing, consulting, and all those things. In tech, we are partnering up with big companies to create great products, marketplaces, everything. So it's like on the service part, it's going great. Our vision is to, get into launching our own brands and get into that game, because we know branding, we know marketing, we know sales, we want to get into that product game. We have multiple things right now aligned. Right now, as of now, like if I talk about today and tomorrow, it's like we are obviously focusing on expanding in UAE and expanding more business in India, of course. And everything is like aligned. And 10 years down the line, we'll look at DigiTea as not just a creative media company, but a big production company getting into a lot of things like web series, films, house of brands. So we have multiple visions aligned, because we are not looking at just in the way that what we are offering and how we are offering. We are looking at what are the use cases. We can like strategize the same talent for multiple things. So over the period of time, we'll be utilizing that. Of course, like we had just launched one of our great coding learning platform. It's called Aaj Se Code. Aaj Se in Hindi, it is Aaj Se. In English, we call it From Today. So Aaj Se means from today.
From today.
So it's like Aaj Se coding. So it's like that makes sense in Hindi, punctuation wise. But it's like that platform, how we built it was we had the great team for building great websites, having great content production team, had the best idea about how we need to, we understand consumer, we understand how people think and stuff. So we designed the courses that way. Varun had all the knowledge of tech. So he built that whole program about, he is a self-learned guy, right? He hasn't gone to any programs or courses as such to learn coding.
CTO, your younger brother.
Yeah, CTA.
Yes.
So he's the CTO of a company. So it's like, he didn't went to any school or college as such that he knows coding. He's a self-learned guy. So he knows better that what guys who are having zero knowledge would need to become a full stack developer like him. So we got that inside. We got LinkedIn, how to build your LinkedIn. We got also in that we have also included a lot of master classes from big speakers from Google, Genpact, and all these big companies to come in and teach their experience. We have also got resume building workshops in it. So it's like we have also got many great projects. We have also got a lot of projects inside it. So what will happen is anyone who is at zero right now, let's say he's doing nothing in life, if he buys that course, first he'll learn full stack development, then he'll learn it from the experts what they have to say in becoming one of the most successful, in a corporate ladder, how you grow up and you actually lead a life as a full stack developer. Then we have resume building, LinkedIn building, that will help them get jobs. And then they'll go to jobs and interviews. People will ask them, what work have you done? We have 15 projects for that aligned, so that they can show their projects, whatever they have done, how they have executed it, and everything. So it's like anyone who comes in at zero, they can easily go out and get a job. So that's how we have crafted the course, and we are solving it for the purpose that people should learn more skills right now in the market. So we are focusing on that. So there are multiple things which are happening. We are getting into the UAE market very aggressively, and we are glad that we have been connected with great people here, great networks, and people have valued our work a lot. And we are also like putting it all in to make sure that we scale here. And yeah, that's the sum up, I would say. But down the line, it's a big future for DigiTea. We definitely believe that it's going to be a group of companies.
What are the common myths and misconceptions about entrepreneurships?
I would tell this in a very short manner, that people feel that working hard, talent, network, all these things play a major role for you becoming a successful entrepreneur. But that's, I would say, not a myth, but a misconception. The strongest character of a successful entrepreneur is persistence. The thing is, the power to do it again, and again. Because I'll explain this in a very simple language. There will be days where you'll not be able to do that hard work. You'll be probably feeling lazy, probably feel demotivated.
Happens to all of us.
There will be days where you will be burnt out. Probably your talent which you had will not be working out there. Probably the right environment, people say you need to have the right environment. Probably the people in the right environment itself would go against you. Probably your parents, probably your co-founders, probably your family, friends, and everyone. They would go against you. But all these things might go up and down, but one thing, if you stick to it, that's persistence, you'll never go back. You'll never lose anything. Showing up is the only thing. whatever you do. I wrote a tweet also like that every day when I go to bed in the night, probably I'm a loser. Every day when I wake up and decide to do it over again, I'm a winner again. Because winning is in showing up, not actually winning. Because like 99.9% of the people are not able to even show up. You need to show up to make things happen. So I would say persistence, all these misconceptions on one side, because people say that, you know, a lot of people, entrepreneurs, they decide their destiny on that front. Ki, okay, I'm not able to work hard. This means I won't be able to get successful. I'm not talented. This means I'll not be able to get successful. But the fact is persistence. Stay at it. Stick to it. KFC founders, he got successful at the age of 65. A lot of people get successful at the age of 15.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's all about persistence, just sticking to it. I would say that.
So Harshak,
Yeah.
as you continue your journey as an entrepreneur, what is that legacy you wish to leave behind? And what impact do you wish to have on your industry?
The thing is that people look at sales and marketing in a very generic manner. Sales, marketing, tech and all these things. They look at it it should just speak about the product. It should just, you know, just put it out and probably create an advertisement, run ads and all that. We know that sooner or later the brands will know that what is the power of social media right now. There was a time when hoardings and TVs were very, people used to look at them. You know, like, I don't remember last when I had watched TV, to be very honest. Whatever ads I've seen, I've probably seen it on YouTube or probably seen it here and there. YouTube also nowadays, premium subscription people have. I have a premium. Hardly see any ads. I hardly see any ads. Hoardings, most of the time it gets ignored. A lot of brands, because it went for a long time, a lot of brands have still not realized that it's not about that how big hoardings are and how big TVs are. It's about where your consumer is. Now maximum people are on their phones, and this is going to stay there for a long period of time, the same way TV and hoarding stayed. But a lot of people don't still understand. A lot of companies don't have their social media pages. A lot of founders, they still believe in PR articles. So I'm like, sooner or later, they are going to realize that personal branding is no more a choice. It's a compulsion to do. Having said that, you need to have stories behind what you do. You need to share. Nowadays, people don't decide you on the basis of just the product you're offering. What kind of trust you offer, what kind of credibility you bring in, what kind of thinking has gone behind building that product. So that's how, I feel that social media will make the brands more relatable and stuff. So I would say to leave a legacy behind, that's a whole different game. This is, I want to, over the period of time, like when I grow old, I want to get into charity. I want to build societies and do stuff around education, around poverty and all those stuff. That's my main goal as an individual. Like there should be a goal beyond all these business, money and all those things. So that's my main aim, to get into charity and all those things. But as of now in the business, we are staying here, sticking to it, because we know sooner or later all the brands will realize that social media is the way to go.
You're 21 years old now. If you were to open your eyes and you're 31 years old, what would DigiTea look like in front of you?
It will be beyond my imagination. I'm pretty sure about that. I don't think so I'll be able to imagine as big as it would be when I will be that. Because if today I'm sitting here, if someone would have told me 2 years back that, Harshak, while selling my car, if someone would have told me that, do you know the same time next year, over just like same after 14 months, you are going to get a Mercedes? I would be like, shut up. That's crazy. So I will let the time decide, the future decide. But I would say one thing, that I think really big, right? It would be beyond that still. I would definitely strongly say that, strongly make that statement, and I would make that happen.
I know you will. Okay. Great conversation, Harshak. Great seeing entrepreneurs like you from India, in Dubai, in the UAE, making an impact here. We welcome people on the show that have done amazing things. I think, you've done amazing, especially at such a young age. I think it's great to share this story with all the young people that are watching, whether they're from India, from the UAE, or anywhere in the world. We decided to do this show in English so we'd have an international audience.
Of course.
And I think you're also trying to grow an international company. So, it's really great to have you here again.
Of course.
And I hope you continue. I hope to see you at 31 and to see, what have you done in 10 years, and maybe you come back and you share again.
Of course. You are in for the game, and thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you so much for having such insightful questions, which would have helped a lot. And then I'm someone who is just learning right now, learning on a daily basis and sharing experiences. All that I say, all that I do is something which I'll probably learn from people who are way more successful than me, and from the experiences which I go on a daily basis. So if it's helpful for someone, I'm glad. I'm not here to just boast about what I am and who I am. I want to be helpful for people. I look at my content, I look at myself as someone who is, obliged, or like I would say I'm dedicated towards delivering the best to everyone who watches my content and stuff. So that's all. Thank you so much for inviting me. Great questions, great overall, I hope this would be helpful for a lot of people.
Thank you very much. Thank you for
coming. Thank you. That's my pleasure. Thank you.